Hi, my name is Nisha. In this video, I'm going to be unboxing my Christmas gift, which was the Cricut Mug Press. I'm very excited and very nervous because I've never used this machine before. So let's have fun, open up the box, and make our first mug together. I haven't even took a sneak peek. The tape is still on this box, so let's open it up together. All right, here we go. Oh, there's still some tape on the sides I gotta take off here. All right, let's open it up. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, let's get this out of this box. Here we have a little booklet or envelope. And we've got our warranty and our Let's Get Started book. All right, let's lift it out of the box. Not too heavy and it's beautiful. All right, let's get this thing plugged in. Let me find those cords first. And here are our cords. So the first thing we need to do is register our machine on the Cricut website. So I'm going to plug this into my computer and get it set up. I've plugged my machine into the wall, and I also use the USB cord to plug it into my computer so we can set up our machine here in Design Space. So I'm just going to go over to the top left here, and we're going to do new product setup. And I'm going to select Heat Press and Cricut Mug Press. Step 1, place Cricut Mug Press on a heat-resistant surface in a well-ventilated area. Step 2, plug into the wall outlet, which I've done, and power on Cricut Mug Press. Use included USB cord to connect Cricut Mug Press to this computer. So let's press continue, and I agree to the Cricut terms of use. Activate. Oh, and it just made a fun noise there. Now it's doing some updating, and it looks like our mug press is ready to use. All right, so I'm in Cricut Design Space, and we are going to make a design for our mug. Go ahead and click on New Project, and then we're going to go to the left side and select Projects. And in the search bar here, I'm going to type Mug Setup. Now there's two different mug setups here. You don't want this first one. Pick the one here where you see the mugs with the green on them. So I'm going to select that. And now we see some options. So we need to pick our finish size. The mugs I have are the Cricut blank 12 ounce mugs, and you can pick the edge that you want. So you can do a straight edge, or there's a ripped edge, or scalloped, or even a wavy edge. I'm just going to do the straight edge for today. And so it'll be the first one, small straight edge 12 ounce mug blank. And below it gives us a bunch of instructions here. And we're just going to press customize at the bottom. Let's zoom in here a little so we can see it better. So here's our mug template. At the top here, you will see a red design showing us where the front of the mug is. And here's the opposite side of the handle. And here's the back side of the mug. So this is going to help us line up our image. Today I'm going to use the red Buffalo Checks Infusible ink for this project. And so I thought it'd be fun to make a Canadian theme mug. So I'm going to go down to upload because I've uploaded some leaves before that I want to look for. So I'm going to click view all, and I'm going to search my own images here and type in leaf. And this is the one I want right here, add to canvas. So here is my leaf, and I want this on the front of the mug. I'm going to shrink this down a bit and try to line it up right here with this center line of this first image of the mug. And then on the back side, I want it to say A. So let's insert some text, and I have my A here. Let's change the font. I'm going to choose one of the fonts that I've uploaded. So I'm going to go over to System and type in RF. Crabular, I think that's how you say it. And this is the font I want here. All right, I find this font a little fat. I want it taller. So I'm going to unlock my A here at the bottom left corner, and I'm just going to stretch it a little bit. And I'm going to line it up here with the line from the back of the mug. And I think that looks pretty good. So before we cut this out, we want to get rid of these red marks because we don't want those cut out. So I'm going to select this red layer here, and I'm going to go over to the side, and we're going to hide the layer by pressing the eyeball. Now I want to make sure my leaf and my A are centered. So I'm just going to select everything here, and I'm going to go to the top and press align, and then I want to center it vertically. So this looks pretty good, but before we go and press make it, we want to attach everything together. So we're going to go down to the bottom right and press attach. Now when I make this mug, I want to weed out the leaf and the letters, so the whole background is going to be our checkered plaid. So let's go over to make it. And because we're using infusible ink, we need to mirror our image. So just go below the mat and click on the mirror button and then press continue. Now we're going to browse materials and we're going to find infusible ink. If you're using an Explorer machine, make sure your dial is set to custom and then find the infusible ink setting. So here's our infusible ink transfer sheet. Click done. And last time I did infusible ink, my blade punctured it a little too far, so I'm going to select less pressure on mine. Let's load our mat and get our design cut out. So here's the infusible ink I'm going to be using today. It is the red check buffalo plaid, and you can get the smaller sheets of infusible ink. They're actually the perfect size for the mug, but I don't have those, so you can use big sheets and just cut them down to the size that you need. So we're going to take our infusible ink out of our tube here. And it does come with butcher paper, but we don't need to use that for the project we're working on right now. So when we put this down on our mat, we want to make sure our design is facing up at us, and the shiny clear side is facing down at the bottom of your mat. So I'm going to try to put these checks on as straight as I can, otherwise my checkers are going to look crooked on my mat. So I'm trying to line it up with that top line of my mat to get it as straight as possible. And then I'm going to use my brayer just to smooth this out. And that looks pretty straight to me. So we need to peel our infusible ink off the mat, but you don't want to just yank it off. We're going to flip our mat upside down and gently pull the mat off of our infusible ink sheet. And as you can see, I did not use the full sheet, so I'm just going to cut this so we can save the extra material for another project. All right, now it's time to weed out our design. So I'm going to just bend it back and forth, and then we're going to weed out our design here. And I just punched out this maple leaf, and we can always use this for another project as well, even though we're not using it for our mug right now. And we're just going to completely take off this outside layer here. Now, because I didn't cut my plastic sheet fully right through, and I want to get this edge here flush with my mug, so I'm just going to cut this bottom piece off. I'm not even sure if that's what you're supposed to do, but that's what I'm doing for this video. If I figure out the right way later, I will let you know, as this is my very first mug. All right, so I got that bottom plastic layer off, and I'm just going to go all the way around. And then afterwards, I'm going to peel the tabs off so I know where to place it on my mug. These scissors are really nice. They just kind of glide. All right, well, here's the design, and then we don't want these tabs here, so I'm going to peel this off, and these tabs are going to help us stick it right to our mug. All right, let's grab our mug. So I have a brand new box of mugs here, and we're going to test one out. And all the Cricut mugs come individually bubble wrapped, so they should all be nice and safe. As you can see, I've also placed my mug press on a heat-safe mat. This is actually just the mat from my heat press, just to protect our surface. So we are going to press the on button and get it warmed up. So right now the light is red, and when it turns green, it should be ready to go. I'm just going to move this box out of the way, and then we will add our design to our mug. So before we apply our design, we need to clean our mug. So I just put some alcohol on a lint free cloth and I'm just wiping the mug, and then I'm going to let it completely dry. If you want, you can also use a lint roller. I don't always like using lint rollers on mugs because sometimes they just stick to your mug too much and then you can't really get it off. So I am using alcohol here. All right, so first I'm going to turn the handle towards me. So it is facing me right now. And then I'm going to grab my design and I'm going to wrap it around my mug. And we're going to have that bottom edge just sit right on the table. And then I'm going to try to make sure it's even on both sides of the handle, about a ½ inch away from the handle. And once I find my center, I'm going to try to stick one side down first and get that attached before we do the other side. So I've got my one side on right there, you can see that. And now I'm just going to pull this really tight and try not to get any bubbles in my design before I attach the other side here. All right, and it looks like it's on there quite straight. Now at the top here, you can see a little bit of gapping. So I'm going to get some heat resistant tape and apply it to the top, just so we don't have any issues when we press it down. So here is the heat resistant tape that I am using. It is from Cricut, so it should work well. All right, so this is looking pretty good. The light on my heat press has turned green, so let's put it in and see how this works. All right, so we are going to lift the lever of our heat press. It is very hot right now. I can feel the heat coming off, so just make sure your hand does not go inside of there. And we are going to put our cup in. We're going to kind of stick it in on an angle here. And it is sitting there in place, and we want to make sure that our design is touching all the edges inside the press here. And then we're going to squeeze it shut. And at the top here, it has some blinking buttons. It's just letting us know how far in the progress our mug is, and when it's all done, it'll beep and then we can take it out. So my daughter is behind the scenes. I was telling her this is going to take about 5 minutes to do, and she goes, "Mom, that's why there's 5 dots on top of the machine, 1 for each minute." So she's so much smarter than I am. So this is flashing at its 4th dot right now. So we should be done in about a minute, and then I can take it out. Oh, now we're flashing on dot number 5, so any second now. This is like waiting for cookies to come out of the oven. I'm so excited. It's done. All right, so we are going to lift this handle up here, and then we're going to slowly grab this handle. Now this handle shouldn't be hot. No, it's not hot, but the mug itself is going to be hot. So I'm going to gently lift this out, and I'm going to place this on my heat resistant surface here, and we're going to let that completely cool before I touch it and reveal our design. I can't wait. And I'm going to turn off my mug press because we are done. So one thing I noticed when I took this out, this side, the tape lifted up a little bit. So I may not have pushed it down far enough. So I'm hoping our design still turned out and the ink is still dark. Now we have let this cool for about 10 minutes. So I think it's ready to take off. So let's check out the reveal. I'm so excited. Here we go. Oh, I gotta take this tape off the top first. You don't want to take this off when it's too hot because you might smudge your design. It still feels a little warm actually inside the mug. So hopefully I'm not taking this off too early. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. Look at that. Look at those colors. It's so bright. Oh, I'm loving this. Oh, it's amazing. Actually, this side is nice and sharp. It is not dull. But somehow this side is a little dull. I must have not pressed that down hard enough on that side. But that's okay. It is my first mug and it turned out so beautiful. This just turned out so good. I'm loving it. But one thing to note for myself is just make sure your sides are really taped down good because they might end up slightly dull at the side. So I'm learning. I'm sure I'm going to learn a whole lot more as I continue to make mugs and I'll share everything I learned with you in videos in the future. So if you're interested in more crafting and Cricut tutorials and you want to learn more about this mug press, don't forget to press the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a video. And if you're interested in how to use infusible ink sheets on pillowcases, I did a video on that recently, so go check that out. Happy crafting, and I hope to see you on more crafting adventures.